Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. This is Aluminum Tarot. It's a pleasure to have you here. I'm going to go ahead and put the microphone here so you can hear me a little bit better. Anyways, thanks so much for joining again. Things seem to be a bit under control life-wise. So finally, the storm has passed, the dust has settled, and I'm finally in my new place. It's just feels so much better that all of the dust has settled and I'm finally getting into a routine of stuff that I really enjoy. And couldn't be happier with the changes. It has been an absolute nightmare to get to this point, but it was all worth it. And for that, I'm extremely grateful. No matter how difficult things have been in the past, and no matter how much shouting and how much I've called the universe all sorts of bitches and motherfuckers, basically, in the heat of anger at the situation, I'm always just grateful for the lessons I've learned from the universe and the changes and, progress that I've made to date. So for that, I'm grateful. And thank you for sticking with me on this because it's been an absolute slog getting through everything. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and read for the sign of Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising from now until a month later. So like till maybe, what's today? The 9th of November, we'll just say until the 9th of December. And we'll just read for this particular period. Whatever comes out and, just carry on with it. So what we're going to say right now is the usual. If you like what you see here, please be sure to give a like, share, subscribe, ding that notification bell, write a comment below as to how this reading applies to your specific life. This is merely an algorithm. This is going to apply to the variables that are taking place in your life. Job, career, love, friendship, whatever. But it's up to you to actually see exactly how that's going to take shape. So that said, we're going to go ahead and move on. First card for Sagittarius I'm pulling here is the the Ace of Cups, if I can communicate correctly. What I'm trying to also explain is that for these readings, I'm now just shuffling the cards beforehand. That gives me more time just to banter, ramble, and do whatever I need to for the reading itself. Anyways, we have the Ace of Cups as the main part, the heart of the reading. And this is you having your cup overflowing because things are moving in the right direction. You see this? It's almost phallic in a sense, but in more of an essence, it's showing that you finally overcome a very difficult situation. You have a large mountain in the background, glacial, and you're piercing through the ice and finally getting into a position where you can make headway, you can make headways to your new direction. Your soul's calling, your emotional state is now overflowing with new things that are going to be very generous and very grateful to, you'll be very grateful for in the near future. So with all that taking place, as your cup runneth over, we do see the challenge for this is the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. So it's really just about learning how to get used to this new routine, this new thing that you're getting involved in, whether that's a new job that you've taken on, new routine related to a love life or a new routine in a new place, a new environment, and so on and so on. It's about getting used to that and making sure that you are learning and taking notes as things go along so that way you can perform well or that you can do the right things in this new environment, this new relationship, and so on. So the recent past, okay, I will admit I'm a Sagittarius ascendant, so a lot of this is resonating with me. Hopefully it resonates with you too. In the recent past, you have the Four of Wands. You celebrated a milestone. In addition, Four of Wands can also indicate a move, which in my life it took place. And it's something to celebrate, something to be very happy about. And so with this new milestone that you've taken on or that you've decided to celebrate, you are making headways. You're going through that 1111 portal, which is what the Four of Wands represents, gaining a new sense of stability in your life in the home space, which is oftentimes what this talks about. Now, it could also indicate a marriage as well, but we can see. But it is a Sagittarian card. Four of Wands is definitely Sagittarian in nature. And in the near future, what we have here, we have the Eight of Pentacles. And this Eight of Pentacles is essentially a card that says, the party's over, now let's get our asses back to work. So you're getting there, you're putting on your welding mask, you got your light shining here, and you're now going to start working very, very hard in order for you to realize and materialize this future. And this comes after a Seven of Pentacles moment, where you have been taking stock of what has taken place for you over the recent past, and you're now getting to work so that you can get to that Nine of Pentacles, which is financial stability and independence and something to show for with mini Empress energy, which is about being abundant in nature. And I think that maybe after a period of time, you've had to have a bit of help to get there, but now it's all taking place, it's all taking shape and coming through. Now, at the very core of this reading, we have the Justice card, and we also have the Three of Cups in the reverse. What I am getting from this reading with these two cards at the core of everything is that at the core of your situation, you are realizing that things are coming into balance after a period of difficulty with people sabotaging your well-being, working behind your back, dealing with people who have not had your best interest at heart, maybe possibly having, difficulty with your friendship groups or your affairs at work. But this is all coming back into play. Justice is being served. You are now coming into a period of equilibrium and harmony after all of this has taken place. So potentially the people who have wronged you in the past, maybe there's a kind of karmic justice. I wouldn't necessarily try to claim that at the moment. But most importantly, for you, things are coming back into balance. And you're now reaping the rewards of the hard work that you put in despite people being, working against you in the background, which is a very Three of Cups kind of theme that goes through that tarot card. What you know to be true at the moment, this is the Fool in the reverse. Now, it's quite possible that you are being a bit more cautious when it comes to the new environment, the new people, the new places that you're going to be. And I did pull this for Taurus as well, where I talked a bit about you can be set on edge after going through a bunch of bullshit, dealing with a bunch of other people in the past. And now you're trying to get your footing in this new life, in this new relationship, or in this new job. And now you're kind of looking at everyone with a bit of the side eye, like, do I know you? Can I trust you on this one? And the reason why is because you realized in the recent past, a lot of things were revealed to you, that High Priestess in the reverse, that people were not so trustworthy. People were not actually working in your best interest. People were working behind your back to steal your ideas or to maybe even cheat on you behind, closed doors. And a lot of this has kind of set you off in a sorts. You're aware of those situations now. I think you're approaching them with a level of maturity which is going to be essential for you to take those lessons into the future without harboring resentment, because it is true with this card that I've pulled here that you have avoided a disaster. That is the Tower in the reverse. So looking into all of this, we see that you have now averted a crisis that could have potentially caused a significant amount of pain and suffering in your life. And all of it has been done to realign you. And this is something I've been meditating about quite a bit. This is about realigning your life towards people who are going to be better for you, healthier for you, a job that's going to be better for you, whether it pays more or not. It's going to give you a sense of fulfillment. That Ace of Cups doesn't necessarily indicate, a lot of pay and a lot of work and stuff like that. But what it does show is that you're going to feel very fulfilled in this new environment. So at the end of all of this, you have the suspension tank, which is the hangman in the reverse, which indicates getting out of a period of stuckness. Finally, you have understood the lessons from the past. You've been in that uncomfortable situation that the hangman puts themselves in voluntarily in order to see things from a different perspective. This then takes you into the Seven of Wands in the reverse. You're finally no longer having to struggle or fight for something. You can just finally relax. And ding, 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 you have the sun. And what the sun is all about. I'm getting that song, here comes the sun, here comes the sun. It's like finally the light at the end of the tunnel. After this long, dark, and difficult period that you have encountered, you are finally at the light at the end of that dark tunnel. And it feels great. You feel the warmth on your face. I'm getting this kind of like sentience. Not even just sentience, but this feeling of just the warmth after a dark, cold, and difficult crisis that you've had to face in life. And it just makes me feel really nice, like I'm sat at the beach after ice dipping in the in a Nordic fjord or something like that. I don't know. It feels nice. It almost feels like I'm just sat here and just basking in that warmth. And it can be really difficult after you've gone through so much shit in life, finally being able to embrace a positive new dawn in your life. As far as it's concerned with the oracle messages, we had 3 oracle cards pop out. And that was very unusual, but I'm going to take all of them. We have the serpent, which is number 7. We have number 32, which is the time. And then we have number 1, which is the man on a horse. So I'm going to read each of these one after the other. So we talk about different numbers here. We have number 32. I'm going to quick look at this. Okay, there we go. Number 7. We have the snake. So, negative, it's complications, difficulties, deceptions, lies, malicious actions, minor medical issues, changes of plans and routes. So, that's precisely what we talked about before. In the recent past, you went from dealing with a lot of snakes in your own life. People who are willing to betray you, stab you in your back, abandon you, leave you with a lot of questions and answers, and essentially cause a bit of discord and chaos in your life. Then you move on into number 32. So from 7 to 32, here comes the change. 32 is 3 plus 2 equals 5. And in that, you have the moon. So this is the moon. And it's a neutral, it can be positive as well. It's about going through cycles, going through the emotions, being creative and trying to find those solutions for things that may have been difficult in the past. But it's about tapping into that intuition. And I do remember you had the High Priestess in the reverse and you had those revelations. So you go from the High Priestess in the reverse, which is the moon, almost like a lunar card, even though it's Pisces, finally revealing to you all of these things that you need to know about your life, and then moving into that sun, that warmth, and basking in the glow. From that, it's almost like you had to fumble your way in the dark after being betrayed by these people. And it was like you had to use the light of the moon to try to get over into the dawn. And that's the kind of message that I'm getting here. Is like, it was very, very difficult. You didn't really have a compass, but you just had your intuition that things would work out in the end. And then finally, you have number 1, which is the rider. That's news, information, a package, notification, visitor, and movement. So after a period of fumbling in the dark, you finally get good news, whether that was a new job offer, or that was news from a friend, or news about even a romantic relationship, getting that text and saying, hey, let's go out and just do this, and leading into a very positive light. So I'm hoping that this is resonating with you. I did have a bit of a wonder and a faff about trying to explain this one, but it is a very positive reading, I see. And like most Sagittarians who do kind of have that positive streak, no matter what happens in their life, they're always able to bounce back and keep moving with a tenacity that, kind of laughs in the face of death. And it's a very nice reading for you. So I hope that everything's going to go well for the month of November and onwards. So if you like this reading, please be sure to give a like, share, subscribe, ding this notification bell, leave a comment below to see what your thoughts are on this. If you want to support the channel, please be sure to, drop a few quid into the PayPal in the description box below. And I'm going to leave it at that. So anyways, thanks so much for your time and attention. I do appreciate it, and your patience, most importantly, as I was making that change, that transition throughout a rough period in my own life. This highly resonates with my own reading, considering all the things I've gone through over the last 3 months. It was a bit of a shit show, but we've come out on top on that, thank God. And until next time, love and light, wishing you all the best for November. Take care. Bye now.